Welcome back to another episode of A Fistful of Collars. This is the last episode. The last episode for the end of the year.
What a year.
Not the last episode ever. I should make that point. But yeah, last episode now for the end of the year. Oh, man. What a year it has been. Right?
Incredible year. Incredible year of Jiu-Jitsu. We've been doing this a couple years now, but this one felt special.
It did. And when, wow, I mean, it was a special end to the year as well, because we just got back from the No-Gi World Championships in Anaheim, California. And I don't know about you guys, but personally, for me, best No-Gi World Championships I've ever been to.
Kick this off for just make it a little special.
Let's do it.
I think we got to make this a little special. We got the proper 12 here. This is the last episode.
It's Christmas.
It's Christmas, holidays. If you guys got some whiskey at home, I know it's only 1 o'clock here, but if you got some whiskey at home, join us. Join us in celebrating a great year of Jiu-Jitsu. Chase, if you're watching too,
you should pour one out.
You should pour some. But we're gonna have some proper 12 here. Is that good? Who else wants some? Anybody in the back?
Sound guy. Maybe
Anybody?
The sound guy.
The sound guy wants some. Anyone want some in the back? They can have some.
You'll take one. Yeah, just get him one.
You gotta get a cup though. I only have 3 cups.
Straight from the bottle.
You want some more?
Toast.
Toast.
Jiu-Jitsu.
To Jiu-Jitsu.
Into 2019, guys. 2019 is gonna be a good one.
That's good.
Woo!
Smooth.
Oh, you guys just knocking that back, huh?
Smooth.
Might as well.
Might as well, so you can get another one.
It's the afternoon already.
Wow.
So
Oh, that is actually quite nice.
proper 12.
nice,
It's not
right?
too
That's
bad.
good
right?
whiskey.
It's good
It's
whiskey.
pretty good.
It is. Connor, thanks for the whiskey.
All right.
That we
Let's
paid
get
for.
into it now. What are we talking about?
Well, we should talk about No-Gi Worlds, because I mean, that
should.
was just a freaking epic tournament, right? What were the standout moments for you guys? Reid, go first.
Man, I think you can't bury the lead. Obviously, it was really Gordon Ryan's show. It was Gordon's tournament. He kind of said that he was going to go out there and win double gold, and he did it. So I think that's probably definitely the biggest moment, maybe even one of the biggest moments of the year. I think a lot of people paid attention. Gordon, he brings a lot of eyes. He brings a lot of new fans to the sport, I think, and yeah, that was definitely the highlight of the tournament for me.
What I liked about the Gordon Ryan effect, of course, was not just the fact that people were tuning in to watch, but also, people came out because they thought that was their chance, right? That was their opportunity to go after him, because Gordon is, of course, one of the biggest names in the sport, right? And he's ruffled a few feathers, okay? So coming into IBJJF tournament where the heel hooks weren't legal, you have to think that a lot of guys were like, oh yeah, okay, now your main weapon's gone. Let's see what you're made of, right? And they went after him, right?
It was amazing. I wasn't at ADCC last year. You guys were there. You got to see Gordon Ryan compete. I've actually never seen him compete before, so this was my first time seeing him out there. If you guys haven't been next to Gordon Ryan before, the guy is huge, right? He's massive. He's at least a super heavyweight, if not a true ultra heavyweight.
He's got to be walking around like 220 at least, right?
He's a big guy.
Yeah.
But man, he is literally just like Conor McGregor. I wasn't on the Conor McGregor train when it first came out, right? He had to prove himself. Same thing with Gordon.
Day one.
I wasn't on the Gordon train, but man, he is legitimately leagues above the competition. He's better technically, and he's got the strength and the athleticism and the grit, and obviously we saw
the technique, the jiu-jitsu.
But he's got that's what I'm saying.
And the smarts as well. I think one thing that Gordon really proved at this tournament as well is that he studied up and he was really, really very knowledgeable about the IBJJF scoring system and, of course, the permissible techniques. Because one thing that he did, which everybody's talking about, is the way that he really tested the reaping rules, took them to the limit, right?
Yeah.
Because, everybody's freaking out about the fact that, oh, you're not allowed to reap the leg, you're not allowed to pass the knee over and stuff. And Gordon's like, actually, no, wait, there's a loophole here. You can enter into the cross ashigarami or inside sankaku or whatever you want to call it, 4-on-1. You just have to be careful about the way that you hook the trapped leg's ankle. You're not allowed to put it underneath your armpit.
Right.
But the position itself is fine with the leg entanglement. And he used it. And he used it again and again. We saw him use it in at least 3, maybe 4 matches.
That's what I'm saying. Guys,
and that was incredible.
It was incredible. Guys were unprepared for that. They weren't ready. It was that's what I'm saying. He was leagues above everybody.
It was a masterful use of that.
He was
that technique.
so confident going into that position, Anyone else would be like, oh man, am I gonna get DQ'd right now? But he went right into it, and the number one thing he did from that position was he would sweep opponents. Right?
Of course, so you can't heel hook, right?
And I know that he was disappointed that he didn't submit everybody, and I know probably other people were a little disappointed that he didn't go out there and get all the submissions and everything like that. But I'm almost more impressed that he was still able to win by one advantage. He was still able to win by the points, because that's how he's going to lose, if he's going to lose, right?
It would have been like that.
Guys like Cyborg, guys like Yuri, who compete in IBJJF all the time, who know the rules maybe even a little bit better, who can play the strategy a little bit better because they've done it for longer probably. And the fact that he was able to go against Yuri in the absolute final and win a match by one advantage, I think that speaks volumes to...
He's beating those guys at their own game.
Yeah.
I mean,
right,
we were
A lot to
talking
be said
about
for
this
that.
before Nogi Worlds, or while we were all out there. Like, your game has to be so much tighter. You know, you have to be ready to prevent that advantage. You know, you have to be really smart. Do I need an advantage to win? Or do I have an advantage coming against me right now? Sub only, you're kind of flowy, you're looser a little bit. Your game has to be sharp when you're at Nogi Worlds. And he was able to pull it off. He was able to do it.
Which was your favorite Gordon Ryan match of the weekend?
By far, for me, it was the Gaudio fight.
Oh, yeah,
I
true.
thought Patrick
True.
Gaudio just came at him, you know, and he really tested him. He gave him his best match. I think he was the only person to score points on Gordon. If I'm
Vagar, gotta remember Vagar.
Vagar got the
Blast
takedown.
double
Yeah.
right at the beginning. Yeah.
But Gordon, if he would have had like 30 more seconds, he probably would have choked Patrick. But who knows?
Yeah, who knows? You know,
That's a great
one hook in, so yeah.
A great match, not one we've really kind of previewed or thought a lot about, just because Gaudio is more of a gi player.
Very much so, yeah. He doesn't have much of a pedigree when it comes to Nogi, not compared to somebody like Gordon.
He
at
did.
least.
He I believe he got runner up to Kynan at the ADCC trials. So we didn't make it to
correct.
ADCC trials, but you know, he's made 2 years in a row to the IBJJF World Finals in the gi.
Yeah,
so
talk about Patrick Gaudio
he's
for
a beast.
a second,
He's
man.
a beast.
He is that is a disruptor. Talk about a
Yeah.
guy who's going to ruin someone's day. I think in 2017, he literally broke Hamulo's foot at
Off his
Worlds.
leg. Yeah, took it off
Right?
the end of his leg clean.
And
off.
then
Yeah.
oh yeah, go ahead.
Then upset Keenan this year, knocked out the American in the...
If he'd beaten Gordon this weekend, that would have been just wild, right?
Oh.
That, I mean, you could have called him the dream killer after that, because, you know, to spoil Keenan's World Championship gold medal hopes, and then, you know, if he'd stopped Gordon in his tracks as well, that just would have been mind-blowing.
100%.
Yeah, real disruptor.
I gotta say though, I mean, he really proved himself what he's capable of in no-gi with this performance against Gordon, even losing just by one advantage. But you have to wonder whether that's put him on the radar of the ADCC invitation committee, right? Because, you know, you go head to head with an ADCC champion and an ADCC silver medalist, absolute division like that, man. That's no small thing, right? So you have to wonder now, is he even going to need to do trials? Could he just go straight to the big show?
That would
yeah,
be awesome.
I did see Mo there, kind of scouting out some guys and things like that. So
Mo Jassim, of course, ADCC promoter who's going to be responsible for World Championships. They're keeping an eye out for the talent. So people are
can't wait
paying
for
attention to
ADCC.
this. Right?
Oh man. So
No,
excited about
I
it.
wonder if that's why this year. I mean, it was obvious. This year's Nogi Worlds was huge. It was massive. There were a ton more competitors. They had to extend to another day this year. They made it 3 days. Last year it was 2 days long. I wonder if it's because it's an ADCC year. Maybe Nogi Jiu-Jitsu is growing. Who knows? But man, I'm looking forward to ADCC. After what we saw this weekend in Anaheim, ADCC is
A lot
going
of
to
Sets
be
it up nicely, right?
recommitting, Yeah.
But let's go back a second. So Gordon Ryan, your favorite Gordon Ryan match is also the Gaudio match?
I'd have to say it was probably that Gaudio match. Yeah, I mean, maybe it was the one where he put up 47 points on that guy. That was,
And then an armbar.
a fun one too. But yeah, that Gaudio match I think was the highlight.
So let me flip it around then. Which other standout matches were there from the weekend for you? Black belt matches,
Yeah,
color
yeah.
belts,
Yeah, I think-
finals, non-final, anything?
Yeah, for me it was definitely hands down. I think I was really most impressed with that Kennedy Maciel
Oh,
there.
yeah.
I think
Incredible.
he's somebody that you've been following for a long time. We've all been following him, and to see him kind of break out like he did there, really impressed. But if there's one moment from his run, it had to be that Mateus Gabriel match, man. That was just both those guys very good. Both those guys wanted to win. I think Mateus was even winning when Kennedy choked him out, and it was one of the most jaw-dropping moments I think of the entire weekend.
And it was the first match of the day. It was
Yeah.
like
Yeah, it's
9:30
true.
a.m. Those guys both go on the mat cold. First match, have this crazy scramble fest kind of typical match as you expect from featherweights, and then. Geez, Kennedy practically kills the guy with a rear naked choke, right? He was out for a while with that.
A little bit. It was insane. That was a crazy
He
one.
just set the pace right there. And I think that's one thing that we have come to see about Kennedy is that no matter where he is in the match, at that point, I believe he was down, he's got another gear. And he doesn't quit. He's got a ton of heart. We saw it at Pans earlier this year. He comes back and he submits people. He wins fights. He's got a ton of energy. He was super excited to watch.
I feel like listening to some of the interviews that you did with him and Cobrinha as well, it feels like they're really kind of like focusing on the mental toughness of Kennedy. It seems like they're really hardening him to be mentally tough. Because like obviously, for a long time probably he's had the skills, the technique to compete at that level. And now it seems like they're really focusing in on his mental game and really, like I said, hardening him for these intense black belt competitions. Because sometimes when you compete in over 2 days, that's a hard tournament, man. You really do have to be mentally tough.
And I think if you could point to Kennedy's career up until this point as well, the areas where he potentially has fallen down in is just that, maybe a lack of focus in certain key matches, and it hasn't been easy up until this point. And yes, physically, technically, there's no real differentiation at that level, right? And he's right up there at the very top. So if there was any factor that was lacking, it had to be mental. But like you said, I definitely think that's the side that they've been developing. Because, if you're going to learn from anybody, man, having Cobrinha there, 24/7, the guy coaching you through this, man, that is it, right? That's all you need right there. So.
And Kennedy, when he won the final, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but there was a big overarching theme of respect this weekend. We'll probably get into that.
Yeah.
But Kennedy, after did he submit? Yeah, he submitted. I think he submitted his opponent in the final.
No.
It was on points.
Points win.
But he waits till the match is over. He goes over, consoles his opponent, and then he lets out the big he didn't just get up and
he passed Pablo Montevani's guard too, which I think was a big moment. But yeah, Kennedy looked great. Anybody else you guys think that popped out for you?
So for me, you said the Patrick Ojo, Gordon Ryan match, Kennedy Massimel. There were a number of standout black belts for me, both in the men and the women's divisions as well. But I think I'm going to have to say Josh Hinger for the three-peat.
Oh, that's another good one.
It was incredible,
What a good tournament. So many good stories.
So many good stories. It almost like, kind of some of them you have to make sure, let's not forget this, because there's so much
Johnny
happening
Grippo
here.
as well.
Johnny Grippo, submitting Marcio Andre in the final, incredible.
Maisa Bastos.
Kainan Duarte, youngest no-gi world champion, incredible. But let's just give a good shout out to Josh Hinger, 36 years of age, coming in, winning his third no-gi world title in a row, 3 years running.
Yep.
And with a submission in the final over the very, very tough Marcos Tinoco, who, I will hold my hand up, I did pick to beat Josh in the final. Right? So
I picked Josh.
Congratulations.
I was right. I picked Josh.
You got Josh, yeah.
Dude, Josh Hinger, that is his world. Like if you talk about someone who's you talk about a specialist, Josh Hinger is a no-gi specialist, man. He's a good wrestler. He wrestled in high school. I don't know if he wrestled in college or not, but he's great on his feet. And then he wants to be in that top position, right? So once he gets that top position, watch your neck, man, because he is bringing that home, thing home in the bag.
The sequence that he finished Marcus with, Tinoco, that is a crazy sequence. It starts from the feet, and then it goes all the way down.
What was more impressive
to me...
His
north-south choke to finish, right? Yeah.
What was more impressive to me was his match with Mateus Denise.
That's what I was going to say, too. It was a medium-heavy division, right? Yeah, medium-heavy. Man, that medium-heavy division was crazy. It was so stacked, and that's why probably we had such a hard time picking who was going to win, because there were so many tough guys in there. We also had Gabriel Arges, and he, like you said, he fought Mateus Denise in one of the best matches of the whole weekend.
There were a ton of guys. There was Kit Dale, there was Miro Santana. Yeah, it was a loaded division. So to come out on top of that kind of division
such a
as well,
stacked division.
Yeah,
it really was.
Talk about who comes to mind for no-gi. Marcelo Garcia, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And Hinger had to get through two of Marcelo Garcia's top guys.
And they both made the podium as well.
So Hinger,
shout
out to
definitely
Hinger.
got to shout out Hinger.
I would do another shot to Hinger if you guys want.
We're gonna do another shot to Hinger then. Yes, we are.
All right.
Where's Efren? All right.
All right.
Here's
Josh
to you,
Hinger,
Josh.
to you, Josh. No gi. I want to see Josh Inger at ADCC.
Oh, definitely.
You know, I think
He lost in the ADCC trials. Tough match, I believe.
John Salter.
John Salter, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a tough match. Oh, man, we're going to finish this bottle here. All right, guys, another shot.
no-gi jiu-jitsu and
No-gi
Josh Inger.
Cheers, Josh.
Inger.
I'm ready for some no-gi.
Delicious.
Oh, my goodness. This is the best podcast I think we've ever done. I'm pretty sure this is...
So, moving on, there was, let's say...
Should we take a shot to
slightly-
Gordon?
There was one slightly controversial element to this year's World Championships.
Yes.
And you put together a fantastic highlight video of this. Basically, 60 seconds of Cyborg slapping the big Jesus out of Gordon Ryan in the ultra heavyweight final. And just to put some context behind this, that Cyborg actually got disqualified in the ultra heavyweight final for accumulated penalties for both stalling and then just basically, getting a little bit too rough.
Yeah.
So, first of all, what do we think about that? Because that was a kind of a standout moment, but not necessarily for the reasons that we usually look for, right?
Yeah. This is a tough one, man. Definitely. We've been watching Cyborg compete for many years. Even before I was doing jiu-jitsu, Cyborg was one of the most visible guys, I think, in the jiu-jitsu scene. And he's a multiple-time world champion, won the Nogi World Championships 5 times, one of the most recognized champions within our sport. I think normally I have nothing but the utmost respect for Cyborg and what he's accomplished.
The guy's a legend
in the sport, an absolute legend. But just to see kind of what happened in the finals, I didn't exactly know how to react to it at first. But yeah,
I'm just sensing some disappointment here.
Yeah,
That's the number one word.
I was definitely just a little disappointed in how it all kind of unfolded, because that was, we did a little what's the match you're most looking forward to at Nogi Worlds, and that was the one that I picked actually was Cyborg versus Gordon, and to see kind of like how it played out exactly,
Not what we were hoping for, right?
It's not the jiu-jitsu. It's not the jiu-jitsu that I love. It's not the values that I kind of hang my hat on, and one of the reasons why I love jiu-jitsu so much, Well,
number one, it was a huge disappointment because it was possibly the most anticlimactic end to the ultra heavyweight division, and that was one of the things that we were really looking forward to. Was a big showdown between Cyborg and Gordon in the final. Of course, Gordon had a win over Cyborg, and ADCC tapped him out with a heel hook, and then they both fought their way through the ultra heavyweight division to get there, and to have that match end up that way, well, it did a disservice not just to us as media, to the fans who were hoping to see that, to the sport in general, I have to say, because I think that jiu-jitsu really didn't get a very good representation in that match, like you said.
Yeah.
And you'd have to say that unfortunately, Cyborg didn't do himself any favors there. And he's definitely caught a lot of heat from the community as a result.
That's clear.
His response, if you guys haven't read it yet, he responded yesterday with a statement about his actions. And what I would have liked to see Cyborg do is go after Gordon Ryan. Prove to everybody that, he can still hang with this guy, this American who is this up-and-comer and is beating everybody, and he's, loud and arrogant and, really confident. I would love to see him go out there and silence him with, like, a legit victory.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that would have been, like, the ultimate way to shut up Gordon Ryan. But he came with this, really it was just bad behavior, and that wasn't the strategy.
It wasn't sportsmanlike.
It was not sportsmanlike.
And I honestly, I understand some of the collar ties, it being a physical match, that's fine, and I understand even some of the the tactics that Cyborg was using. We've seen boring jiu-jitsu matches. It's not like a new thing. We've seen matches where guys play the strategy. So I don't have a problem really ultimately with how he approached the match or how physically he was being, but just all of it together. It just kind of left a little bit of a bad taste.
Definitely bad taste
in my mouth, and I don't know. It's something that we've never seen from Cyborg
Because-
before, you know. And it's so uncharacteristic
Right.
of him, I think.
I
And
want to say something about Gordon too. I mean, Gordon is playing a role. You know, we've seen this in MMA. We've seen this in just any type of, you know, combat sport. Gordon's playing a role where he goes out and he talks the talk, right? But he backs it up, and unanimously amongst his team, when we interact with Gordon, he is as professional as they come.
He is.
He's respectful on the mats. If you guys are there on the mats, he's always shaking the ref's hands, you know, very courteous to people. When he's on the mat, he is a pro. He's a professional, right? Instagram, social media, that's the world we live in these days, man. It's all about...
he's a young man. He's 23 years old. Is that what you said?
23.
23 years
Exactly.
old. And Cyborg is, I believe Cyborg's birthday today. Or
yeah, it's correct.
yesterday.
I think he's 38,
So happy birthday to
39
Cyborg.
today. Yeah.
So they definitely come from different generations, you know,
school,
and
new school.
yeah, and Gordon grew up in the social media generation like I did, and like I'm sure a lot of you did. So they definitely have slightly different outlooks on you know, that not on social media
Absolutely.
and that type of thing. So I can understand that they don't exactly see eye to eye when
Yeah.
it comes to that.
But you know one person who didn't complain about this at all? Gordon Ryan.
Yeah, exactly.
One thing, you know,
Exactly.
Gordon was getting his fingers twisted, he was getting clubbed, he was getting slapped. He didn't once look at the referee and was like, "What's up? What's up with this?" You know,
Yeah, I mean,
he
true.
just grin, sort of, you know, put a grin on his face, just head first into it, just took it. And he actually said, you know, he's like, "Listen, Tom DeBlas has been slapping me around like this in the gym since I was 15 years of age." And, you know, Tom's a big guy. He's got some pretty heavy hands, right? It's like, you know, he was well prepared for that kind of treatment. But, yeah, of course, he was disappointed as well because, I mean, he even said to us Saturday afternoon, before he even went into the finals on Sunday, he's like, weekend's ruined because he couldn't submit everybody, right? Couldn't submit Patrick Gaudio, tapped everybody else up until that point, and he's like, that's it, the trip's a failure.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, okay,
He's
he comes
so
home
game,
with two,
man.
but he comes home with 2 gold medals, but even he's disappointed with the way things played out. So
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Gordon gained a lot of fans this weekend. I think he gained a lot of respect, maybe respect that he hadn't earned even from winning ADCC. I think he gained a lot this weekend. And you're right, he didn't complain at all. And he backed up the talk. He goes out there, he talks the talk, and then he walks the walk. And he went home with 2 gold medals, man.
And we know that, you know, Gordon brings a lot of eyes. I think I said this earlier, that Gordon brings a lot of new fans to the sport. A lot of fans who aren't jiu-jitsu people, really. I think he has a big reach and brings a lot of new people to the sport, and brings a lot of people who haven't had so much exposure, don't know who Buchecha is, and don't know who Cyborg is, you know. And so that was kind of
plenty of Gordon Ryan fans.
Yeah, that was their first real introduction to jiu-jitsu. And it's unfortunate that was it.
And just about, you know, you mentioned this as well about Gordon being 23 years old. This kind of leads really nicely into our next big topic. And that is that we did some number crunching, you know, and we ran through the stats of all the champions in the black belt divisions from No-Gi Worlds, both men and women. And we found something really, really interesting. So if you go to FloGrappling.com, there is an article on the homepage about this called "The Generational Shift: The Great Black Belt Generational Shift at World No-Gi Championships." So I went back and I looked at the ages of the champions for like the last 8 years, as far back as I could find the records.
Wow.
And one thing that we found is that the average age of a black belt champion among the men this year is the lowest it's ever been.
At No-Gi Worlds?
At No-Gi Worlds. So that goes to show that the champions are getting younger and younger as time goes on. And it's really interesting because there were 6 black belt world No-Gi champions this year under the age of 25. The youngest being Kainan Duarte at only 20 years of age.
Yeah. We're in a new era.
2017 prospect of the year, by the way.
Yeah.
we saw him early. We saw him coming, right? So
we are in a new era.
We are.
I don't mean to steal your thunder.
Go ahead.
Reid put out a great vlog. If you haven't seen day 1 of No-Gi Worlds this year, it was basically coverage of the blue belts. And I believe it was Drysdale you were talking to. You interviewed one of his students had just won. And Drysdale said the only difference between this blue belt and a black belt is the experience.
Yeah.
He's got the technique. And I don't
They're
know
not
if
that
it's
far apart.
I don't know if it's from because we're in the YouTube age and, it's out there and people have access to so much jiu-jitsu and so many techniques that their games are just excelling so much quicker.
Yeah, I actually, I've got feelings on this matter. To be honest, I don't think it's ever been that different. I think that a world-class blue belt has always been like head and shoulders above what you would consider a normal blue belt to be.
For sure.
And,
Yeah.
I've seen it myself for years that, a world champion blue belt will tool up most average hobbyist black belts.
Yeah.
Not talking world-class black belts who compete in worlds.
Yeah.
There's still a gap, a proportionate gap there. But the difference between a high-level blue or purple belt and like an average guy who trains as a hobby but has put the years in and has got the experience and is a black belt, he's going to get destroyed by those guys. Destroyed,
Yeah.
100%. I know, I've been there myself. I've been on the receiving end. I've trained
Yeah.
with a world-class blue or purple, and I'm thinking, I might
is
as well
not a
just
great
quit.
experience.
What did we just
take this
see?
black belt off my waist, throw it away.
Last weekend, we put up an article of Tynan Dapper versus Bill Cooper.
There you go. Purple
Right?
belt, like a new purple belt as well. He only got it at Worlds in June this
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
And he tapped out a third
What is he,
degree black
18?
belt. Yep.
17, 18?
Yep.
You know what I think it is?
18 last month.
I
Yeah.
think it's all of the dads who were brought up with the UFC and Hoist Gracie. Their kids are now hitting that age. They all raise their
right.
kids to be martial artists.
Put them in jiu-jitsu
Put them in
young.
jiu-jitsu,
Yeah.
and now those kids are coming of age and they're tearing up the scene.
Well, I mean, the youngsters are just ripping through. I mean, I gotta run through these names because these 6 champions under the age of 25 are just incredible. Kainan Duarte, only 20. Kennedy Maciel, we mentioned him, 21. Just turned as well. Maisa Bastos, who's been tearing through stuff recently. She won Nogi Pans, she won EBI, and she won World Nogi as well. 21 years of age. Nachieli, who's actually, this is now her 4th World Nogi title because she won weight and absolute, and then maybe 3 actually, but 22 years of age. And then Fionn Davis, the first British black belt to win a Nogi World Championship, 23. And as you said as well, Gordon Ryan, only 23.
Yeah, I think that
Unreal.
the Gi World Championship, there still is a couple like gatekeepers, right? There's still guys like
Masters eligible.
like a Lucas Lepre,
Yep.
who's still kind of holding that down and still beating
point.
back the new generation. We saw kind of Cobrinha kind of take a step to the side, and we saw Jamil Hill, kind of take the mantle. So I think that once this kind of I don't want to say older generation. What am I trying to say?
The veterans.
The veterans of jiu-jitsu.
But they are an older generation. I think that's a fair thing to say.
Yeah. So once that they, decide to kind of step aside, we're really going to see this explosion of new talent and explosion.
But it's not like
of
we've
guys.
never seen this before. I mean, look at Buchecha, right? Buchecha's
Oh, he came along, man. 21 years
21,
of age.
21.
Yeah.
I mean, he's now the veteran, right? He's 28, 29,
28.
maybe.
So look at that. I mean, guys like Buchecha, even guys like the Meow brothers, they're only 2-3 years away from being Masters eligible.
That's crazy.
So it stands to reason.
But then look at Josh Hager, man.
No, I know, but
True.
it stands to reason that as they get older, a generation is coming up behind them, the ones who are coming up through those color belt ranks, right? So as these guys are coming through, I'm not saying that those black belts are going to drop off, but there are definitely going to be others coming through nipping at their heels.
That's why we are in for the most exciting jiu-jitsu ever.
Oh, yeah.
We are going to have this
In 2019?
in the next couple of years. 2019
Yeah.
for sure. It's
Yeah.
just going to keep getting
It's
better.
never
and better
been
and
better.
Yeah.
It's literally never been better.
Well, I think if Jamil win featherweight, and now Kennedy's going to be in there, and now that other guy Mateus Gabriel, and there's so many of these.
We've got those battles for years to come.
Yeah.
And speaking of next year, because you talk about kind of queuing this up as well, right? About how things are just getting better and better. 2019 is already looking loaded, man. Like, this is pretty much the off season for jiu-jitsu, right?
This 2 weeks, right?
Because actually, I believe it is, 3 weeks from now, we're going to be in Lisbon, Portugal, for the European Championships,
Can't
which
wait.
is incredible and
Yeah.
such a great way to start the year because it's such a fantastic tournament. And we'll always see some crazy moments from that. I mean, we've got so many memorable moments from Europeans, right?
It'll be our fourth time going?
Yeah, it will.
Fourth time
Yeah.
going to Lisbon. Yeah, one of my favorite. I love that it's right at the beginning of the year too. It really kicks things off
Sets
for
the
us.
tone
You know,
nicely.
it really does. So I can't wait for that.
But seasons, they don't really exist, and this is the only off season that we have. But we figured that for this brief period where we have a couple of weeks rest in between tournaments, this is the perfect time to look back on an amazing year of jiu-jitsu.
yeah.
And once again, our third annual FloGrappling End of Year Awards. Reid, what are we looking forward to this year?
Yeah,
what are we
absolutely.
doing?
Like you said, third annual. We did this first in 2016 with just such an amazing success. Again in 2017, and of course now we're back in 2018 with the FloGrappling Awards. Every year, it's just gotten bigger and bigger, and more of you guys have voted every year. So that's incredible. And obviously this year we're hoping for an even bigger turnout. So definitely, if you guys haven't voted past years, this is your year. This is your year to vote for whoever you think had the best performance, had the best year, had the best submissions, and things like that.
What about the categories this year? What have we got? to look
Yeah,
forward to?
categories this year. We got male black belt of the year, female black belt of the year, breakthrough grappler of the year. I don't know if you remember, Craig Jones won that one.
Who?
Won that one this year. I'll tell you about him
Of
later.
course, Craig Jones.
We got Nogi submission of the year, which, man, Nogi Worlds gave us plenty of Nogi
yeah.
submissions.
Lots of ammo
the
there.
year.
Yep.
It wasn't an ADCC year, but still plenty of good Nogi jiu-jitsu. Of course, gi submission, Nogi match of the year, gi match of the year, upset of the year. A lot of great categories in there. Man, like you said, it was such a great year. It really was. I'm not just saying that. I think we've done this a couple years now, and this year did feel special. So
It was epic.
Yeah,
It was an epic year.
It was an epic year. It's a perfect
And actually,
description for it.
I think we do have a clip real
We got a
quick
clip?
that we
Yeah,
can
let's
show.
cue this up.
This is the 2018 Male Black Belt of the Year. 6 nominees. Let's roll the video real quick and see who you guys think.
So there you have it. I mean, there's just 6 names right there, but 6 incredibly powerful names. I think, man, like, I tell you what, it's a tough one to choose. That I'm glad the decision doesn't solely rest with me, because this is something that we do open to the public. We give people the opportunity to cast your vote, and obviously we'll be doing that as the only place that you can vote, the only place that you can actually have your say, and it will be counted towards who would win. Black Belt of the Year is on FloGrappling.com. So please go to the website.
Hey,
to
whoever
cast your
wins,
vote.
Get your vote.
wins, man.
Please
We
vote.
got the sound
for,
guy in.
to
Hey.
the Black Belt of the Year.
Ominous
There you go.
arm that comes through. There we go. 4 of us. Yeah. Male Black Belt of the Year. This year, I think especially, usually we have a couple guys who I think are kind of head and shoulders above guys who kind of won everything in the year. But I think this year, especially, man, all 6 of those guys.
Hyper competitive.
Yeah, it's extremely competitive.
can we talk about him for a sec?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I mean, the one guy I want to talk about is Gianni Grippo, okay? There's so many other guys on this list, but Gianni Grippo was the one guy who was out there competing at every freaking event, man. He was out there. The guy works harder than everybody. He might not even win, but I just want to give a shout to Gianni Grippo because, man, he finally beat Paulo Miao this year, right? He's the
Twice.
Kasai Pro 4 winner, won Pans against Shane Jamil Hill, and then is down on points at Nogi Worlds, takes Marcio Andres back, and submits him to win the Nogi World Championship.
Let's just be very clear as well, because it wasn't the easiest year for Gianni. It was a roller coaster because he came out and he lost Europeans, won
Lost in
Pans.
the finals of Europeans.
Yep, lost Europeans, won Pans, lost Brazilian nationals, bombed out of Worlds, came back. Won Pan no-gi, won Grand Slam beating Paulo Mia, won Kasai Pro 4 tournament, one of the most loaded no-gi tournaments we've seen. And then, with a huge win, his first black belt world no-gi title at the end of the year. That shows perseverance and heart.
And that's what I'm saying. That's the whole point of the FloGrappling Awards, right? We're not focusing in on one event. You could have done great. For example, last year was ADCC. You killed it at ADCC, but there's a whole nother year,
season,
of the year. Last year it was Cobrinha who actually did kill it all year. Won the Super Grand Slam last year, right? But any of those guys, Muhammad Ali did phenomenal this year.
World champion this year, runner-up at Pans, won World Series of grappling. They're all equally accomplished. So
and I feel like Muhammad Ali, especially, I was going to talk about Muhammad Ali, especially. Obviously these titles are very important. That's probably the main criteria that we nominate people for is what they won over the year. But on top of it, I think these 6 guys, and especially Muhammad Ali in there too, like really represent what jiu-jitsu is and represent, I think, what a champion is in this sport of jiu-jitsu. I think those 6 guys, and tomorrow we're releasing the female black belt of the year, and I love the list that we put together for female black belt of the year as well. I think those 6 and so those 12 grapplers really embody just amazing jiu-jitsu and an amazing year that 2018 was.
Yeah, make sure you go and see that, because the women as well, some very deserving candidates on that list too.
Absolutely.
I've been saying
FloGrappling Awards, we're going to be dropping a video pretty much every day over the next week or so, and
You can't miss it. So
Can't
please,
miss it.
definitely,
when
we
are
want
we
your
announcing
vote.
the winners?
Ooh. You'll have to stay tuned. We're going to announce the winners. But
Early
first,
January?
Yeah,
Right
first
after
week
the-
of January.
Right
First
after
week
the
of
new
January.
year.
Yeah, right after the new
Great
year,
time.
we'll announce like we always do, and then we'll get right into 2019.
Very cool. And speaking of 2019, lots and lots of jiu-jitsu coming up, and lots of live events here on FloGrappling.com. In January, we have the Abu Dhabi Grand Slam from Abu Dhabi. The week later, we have the IBJJF European Championships. We have Third Coast Grappling featuring Keenan Cornelius versus Tex Johnson in a super fight, and plenty of other local and national talent. In February, we've got the Kasai Super Series. Gordon Ryan returns for a super fight against the man monster Joao Gabriel Rocha. And we also have the ADCC West Coast Trials. It is packed. We've got much more than this as well. We've got the IBJJF Pans coming up in March. Going to have the London Grand Slam. Going to have the Abu Dhabi World Pro in April. World Championships in May/June. It is non-stop from here on out. Enjoy this Christmas break, because come January, it is pedal to the metal, and we're going to see out the first half of the year with some amazing jiu-jitsu action. Guys, I don't know about you. I'm stoked. It's been a hell of a podcast. Cheers to you guys.
Cheers.
And
Salud.
we'll see you guys on the next one.
All right, another shot, right?